The protesters and protesting, those are staged when they put them out by the town halls and in the prison areas, the cities. Those are staged. There's at least maybe, well, you could figure they hire like 1,000 or 2,000 people, but they recruit their friends and stuff, and then they go and, like what's happening in France or any place where there's so-called protesters about the political parties. Otherwise, you have real people protesting that they don't vote, they don't pay attention, and that's the way you do it. You just turn your back and you take your own independence, and you take your right to remain reality, and you mind your own business and you turn your back. See, now the complaint. See what they want to do, and it's the right thing to do, to tell you the truth. But somebody is going to do it for us, and we should never let that happen. And it shouldn't be happening on a global scale. The only thing that should happen globally, it's already happening. We have reality here, the earth is here, and the truth is here. Okay, so that's our leader. Our leader is the truth. And reality is the one mind that contains it, that we all are interacting with, like an application. So, but your leader, your leader is the ones who are in your local areas, because there's such a population boom, right? There's like more people than ever on the planet, I think, um, compared to, like, say, when the first presidents were um, voted for, and they could afford to have one single person standing there on one piece of dirt. And it's like, no, actually, your community should have a leader. Your street, your street. Not only that, your household. It should be fractalic, right? Because we're talking about universal law. If outer space is to be included, then the truths, the natural laws of physics are going on, and we don't fool ourselves by doing cartoon land. Yeah, that is very much the political system. Your mind, whatever fear is conjuring up as programming, the way to live. Um, so yeah, we're going to see a lot. See, but I thank God that earth changes are coming. For us here, I live next to the San Andreas Fault in California, and and there's also an extinct volcano, not an extinct one, but a dormant volcano next to the Salton Sea. And see, I worked with a woman who, she was born in Honduras. She is very indigenous looking, right? She's like, and she has an accent, and she just loved me. And I don't know, I just work with people sometimes and I pay attention. And she told me, she really kind of looking at me, and she told me, you know what, I had a dream that volcano went off. She wasn't talking about that volcano, but she said, I had a dream that over there, and there was this black stuff just coming down, and it was an explosion somewhere, and it was really hot, and it was terrible. So anyway, that kind of stuff can happen, and it doesn't have to be thought of as Mother Nature, Gaia is rising up. No. Um, See, that now I wanted to talk about the police, why we want to get rid of just about every position of power, every entity in position of power. Start with the police first. I'm totally agreeing, because the the ones that came to visit me who were working for, really, because I was complaining about having the asphalt spill, and they wanted to silence me. Um, I remember he was panicking. He was deathly afraid of me. He was a narcissist. Not only that, he was really, really unhealthy. You know, here we have these sheriffs, police in the United States who are eating hamburgers and doing, and see, that all needs to change. Like the vibration of them, the way that they are all, well, they're all men. And I'm not against men at all. I'm against stupid people. Those are different. Men and women are here putting up with it. Anyway, yes, no, it needs to change. But see, we need to change it. It can be done, and it will be done. See, this is how it's done. With the earth changes that are coming up, man-made or not, people are going to be called to take care of their shit. And there could be like downloads, like I get downloads and stuff, but people could be getting downloads like just of a basic design. If you go fractalic and do pictures, it's like you say, no, it's like this. Within your household, you have a leader. She's an alive woman. Now, really, it's like, okay, do you have something that dials into the right math and the right geometry? Do you have something that can smell your food and just about, detect if it's dead or alive, right? If it's rotten or not, or can, you know what I mean? Putting together something that is geometric, that resonates with our beings, and now we're in our well-being. See, each household should have a leader like that. I just say, oh, those are just women. Okay, next, and then your road has one where out of all of those, it doesn't have to be women either. Just whoever's most sensitive enough to pick up on even past the level of five senses, who says, you know what? They do astrology. They say, you know what? Take your stuff down off of your shelves now. We're having a Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus. There could be a massive earthquake, and whatever you want as a valuable, if you don't want to clean up broken glass and stuff, take it down now while this transit is happening, July 17th. Fair warning. See, people like that, and you know what? We don't know the life we're missing. They call that paranoia and psychic, and it's like, like we hardly. It's like, see, that's who we really are. But like Carl Sagan said, if you lose your intellectual property, you get dumbed down by fear enough, and listening to that system over there that wants you to be like a baby, worse, like a clown circus act. You are, it's turning into superstitious now. And casting out the people who say the truth, just like they said, when you get rid of the intelligent people by entertaining the fools. But, there's another occupation. You can say there's benevolence here that doesn't show themselves very much, and they say, no, you can't do it like that. I know that you have lied to them, and they're all innocent, kind of like what Christ would say. He's like, you know what, and you are all forgiven until you know, and boom, gets out of here. That was probably the benevolence I'm talking about. They move into another dimension and say, excuse me. And then, but no, we have interplanetary alliances. Yes, we do. Mars is fully occupied, Huns. By what? Oh, that's a prison planet. It's inhospitable to all life, but technologically they are doing all the clicks, bells, and whistles with your oxygen production and your fake food production. I mean, they do it through technology. Way advanced, way advanced. But they're struggling. See, there's politics going on. It's between Venus and Mars. Okay, kids, now I'm going to talk about... I don't know. There's a parasite in the universe. There's men and women, and then there's a parasite. And you have to be careful because it gets in by way of mind, right? If we have these jars right up here that says, I am able to log in via the body here, and it's a certain way, and I don't know everything, but we do have biology that is on this level that we can look out, and whatever we can look out at and say, now, is that a planet or just is that a galaxy, or is that just something I'm hallucinating? No, you're part of that. As your body, you're one with the universe. You are made from the stars. Anyway, getting back to the protesters and the fact that we need to get rid of all of the positions. See, because it's a reset. And that is a lie, the way that they're doing it, especially monetarily, babes. People are naturally first responders. Naturally, they'll get up and start helping people. If they're having a heart attack, there isn't a hesitation. Naturally, there are people that are healers. It is a natural phenomenon that we need to surrender to because it's easy then. The fractal of awareness. How about that? Like, say, yeah, talking about your leaders. I mean, just a suggestion, but no, really, it could be just like that. I can see it. It's like, no, you have microclimates here that need to be managed. You can see the leader over there, maybe of the world, saying, yeah, are you guys now resonating with the truth? Do you know that there is a God who has created us and nothing new under the sun? Are you feeling good? Do you maintain your good feeling by having connected to it? Are you keeping your buoyancy and your vibrational frequency on high, baby? Because when you tap that puppy, it is joy. You start just going woo, 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 and there isn't going to be any disease. We're not going to get sick. We're not going to get old, and nobody ever dies here. We're having fun in the universe now, and a lot. See if you can imagine. When is that going to happen for us? Something is here that's like, this is an interesting cartoon. I don't doubt that the entire universe is full of a diverse amount of parasites, but the universe is human, and we are highly technologically capable. We're ready, like, the way that we can fashion ourselves electrically to devices that, now you want to talk about how do these space balls go around, or how do these, we do see these really quickly. I saw one, that's why I wouldn't believe in spaceships like, say, UFOs. They're just it's a broke off civilization, babe. This is an experiment happening here. Now, what are they trying to do? Well, they're trying to create men and women, human beings. They want a human a flourishment, flowering. But if they have a parasite and the schism gets in, then it gets all. And I'm glad yesterday was over, because it's programming that's stuck. Everything needs to be redone. You don't even know how these people are. It's like this. Teachers, the profession of teachers, through the psychological statistical study, which is like at least 150 years old, or even 200, they have logged in, right, information of people who have just gone in and said, I've got something going on, and would you please explain it? People go in and thinking that they can explain why they feel the way they do, and so they go and just listen, and then they keep doing statistical study. Well, this person, 80% that are teachers or professors who go to the psychologists, they are there because they're troubled, because they have a fantasy of wanting to torture the kids, and it troubles them. Well, it's because people who seek those kinds of position of power, they're narcissists, and they could have all of those kind of deep-seated anger and wanting to get back, and not human. Narcissists aren't human beings. See, a human being wants to lead you to your own leadership of your own faculties getting turned on. A good teacher leads you to the threshold of your own mind. It doesn't just feed shit into you and control your body and blah, 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 and then for your own good, it's punishing you, and you know what I'm saying? Those are fucking narcissists. You got to get rid of that. Yep. Now let's look at the medical system. These are psychopaths. Terrifying. Of course, you have people there that actually, they're working in cognitive dissonance. A lot of the nurses there, I think 1 out of 20 is a genuine healer, and they're kind of like, they're concerned. You can tell that they're just on your level of being human, right? And just their eye contact alone heals you. But the rest, I mean, and especially the doctors that they have to call in, and Dr. Gupta or Dr. Mahalana Bechinka, and it's like, these people aren't from the United States. No, they're running a non-human, a freaking alien race fucking base overlay on us. They just, chintzy! It's fucking ridiculous. They're trying to get us to believe in paper that we are this accumulated bunch of shit that they, like, say, from our very first when we're born. Our birth certificates. What is that? You're logging into whose school? Whose? Because when you're that young, you don't have control. The Aborigines, when it comes to your name and stuff like that, they change their name based on their birthday, the progression that they're making with their bodies. They call them. It's like birth. You're going through an ongoing birth. The term web was first coined by the ancient Aborigine 10,000 years ago. The shamans called the plasmatic field that your entire heart is hooked into electrically, that is in fact the entire universe going like this. It is pulsating in and out of us. They call that the web. And it's what we are telepathically feeling, everybody, like in real time. See, there's a way to tap into that, and they did. They've been systematically killing off global populations that were here, the cultures that form, that are intergalactic. See, we don't really know their technologies back then. Who are we? Whoever writes us history says, and they were in caves, and we started out in caves, and it's like, yeah, right. I would rather live in a cave than what's happening here. I mean, really, because well, I just don't think it was a cave. A cave is what happens when everything is being wiped out, and then you find a fucking place in the mountain. You can see how some civilizations before, I think, but who knows, not too long ago, where it was like impossible to get to it. They're way stuffed up on a mountain. They carved in, and it's like, how do they get that shit done? But they were running from something. They, losing their leaders, losing their connection, being turned into fear. More and more stuff started to look like that, and got less and less geometric, less and less advanced, more and more like you're on the run in a desert place all over the earth. The earth is now turned into a prison planet for you. You're held captive in something that is it's so temporary that it's like in 60 years, the whole thing could be different because, well, I'm going to be dead. A lot of people here are going to be dead watching this, perhaps, because your lifespans are being shortened. And anyway, if we can't get something together with our real leaders, who they're putting their shit on the line. Usually, they're putting their lives on the line for you. That's how you know a leader. Hi, Jesus, was that you? Yes, I put my real life on the line. There is no real life, babe. Not the one that you know. If there's a real life, it's your eternal life. And you stand there and go, what the fuck are you making such a big deal about this? Because you could chop my head off, and I'm like, oh, whatever. 500 other heads poke up and say, what the hell do you think you're doing to your own intellectual property and even your opportunity? Really, it's your intellectual opportunity. Like, really, what is going on here? I think some of the parasitical population, I don't know, like the reptilians, they 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 have a chance to become human here in the universe. But I really don't know how it goes. But see, I'm observing the three types of reptilian here. There's the slit eyes, and then there's the black hole ones. I don't know what the third type is. See, I think it's in accordance to their evolution. And a lot of them love the story of Christ Jesus. You want to talk about all those Christians out there? Are they? See, where are they with it? See, I think that they are in the middle. A lot of them are slit eyes. They're getting human eyes, but they're no. They're still very, very, very disconnected. It's kind of cute. They're not human yet, and we treat them like little babies. Really, you have to, because they're not. Well, especially the ones that talk about Christ, and they get the Bible out and they say, so that we may live, and yeah, whatever. You're well on your way, but you need to know about seeking the real thing. Now, there's a real thing. Stop your belief. Be with. Take a deep breath. Breathe in that good ass prana, baby. The plasmatic field. See, we don't really know what this is. See, we're so used to it. We don't know if it's a different form of like water or what, but it's here and we're breathing it. We can't live out in any other place. There's an atmosphere that keeps it. But Tesla was talking about this electrical hookup, the web. And he says, yeah, that it's a firmament, and all of even the see. He was working with the very energy, the lightning, um, and it's like 4 trillion times hotter than the sun. He says this is what's holding the sun in place, my dears. An electrical firmament. It's not what you. They mix up a lot of what he's saying. They say, "Oh, it was a dome. It's a dome on the end." It's like, no, they're talking about what is really in the outer space realm. And see, there's the way you get out there is become a human being. It's human, and you have a soul, and you can cruise around. We don't know our capable because it's capability. Either it's well, I think it's been hijacked here. Something is feeding on us. They kind of plug in and say, "Yay, we love the universe," eating our adrenaline glands. They feel like what it is to be human. When you tap the truth as a human being, you get woo, but they can't do that. They're very they're always wondering. Their eyes are rolling in the back of their heads. If you find a human reptilian, they are trying to find ways to tap into your energy to use you. You know, they think that your relaxation and your the fact that you're just doing pleasure and joy is like a vulnerability or something, and they're just going to go. They wiggle around it, and then they go, and they look for like maybe you need a little support or something, and you're alone, and they say, "Oh yeah, sure, I can help you a little bit," and then they plug in, and there's your narcissist. Give her a narcissist. Indeed, they're coming with this signature that is equating to psychopath, sadomasochistic, narcissist. It's just your hair will stand on the back of your neck if you're in the presence with the fucking totally black-eyed, I mean, the whites and everything. And they're in trouble. Those people, that entity who makes it into a body like that, well, mainly, yeah, the human, the five-pointer, the organism is, it's not experiencing bliss. It's experiencing all the paranoid and fearful feelings that come from not being connected to God. You know for sure you don't know something, and it's fucking not a fun feeling. Imagine that you don't know how to just simply be here now. Now that's bad enough. You're like walking on a it's like walking on a tightrope. You can't go to the mind, or you can't go to the past or the future. No, it's just now. And that takes practice. That's what we're here to practice, is our beings, which can't exist but in the now here. And so with the phenomena of the reptilian coming through, they're using the mind, but really it's the electrical hookup. Yeah, and they have radiators and stuff. There's a way to tap it. But when you become as powerful as, say, you can become one with the universe, babe. You become love. You can do figure eights about that. So you can get this intuition. And you can start predicting. It's like, okay, so because they're very predictable. Whatever it is, the narcissist or the unevolved. The way that the ones that are trying to do energy grabs. And it comes in the form of like, well, they want the monetary system, or what do they want? It's just in the form of energy grabs, and so with that, it masks itself, and anybody knows anybody who has been around a toddler or who has their own toddler. I think that parents are less apt to see this than the ones who are observing it, but you can predict how they're going to go because it's just the mind there doing energy grabs, and they feel a certain way, and from that feeling, their attitude, the universe is going to appear to them like this, and then they're going to be like that, and you can just totally predict their next move. Like with what I know here, it's like, okay, thank God I have my above faculties on beyond the five senses, because I'm building a tolerance to all of the noise that is coming from sheer unconscious, the backdrop that isn't human, not humane at all. Includes the dog toters and the people that are falling for that. It's an industry that they are raking on them. It's a lot of money, right? And it's the satanic industry, because they're giving dogs vaccines that just like humans, and they're making them autistic. See, but you won't notice an autistic dog. I do. They don't come up to you and wag their tail. And they don't do that. See, the humans don't even know that they don't have a rapport with them. They don't know that they don't have a connection. Steiner told us how that was intended to disconnect us electrically. It's a repulsion system where you're just discombobulated. There was a chance for you to get in your body, and now you're connected to this, ooh, this beautiful, amazing fucking feeling, man. But when you start stuffing your body full of, let alone your foods, babe, you have to start finding a staple. We're at war. We are heading into one of the biggest, amazing. We are so excited about the spiritual warfare that's coming up. That's going to just be. It's already here, but it's going to hit the billboards now. It's like, yep, Channel 4 News. It's not going to be the illusion of people being hired to do protests at the city hall. Fuck that place. Real protesters are going to be found minding their own business, but we activate into, see, in my area, what needs to happen, see, you get on here and you start radiating. Say, look, do you recognize this language? Can you resonate with the truth? Do you like feeling good? See, just being something that gets together and starts singing like la 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 la. That's a threat to the disorganization of people that don't know geometry and are doing money. Whoops, did I just flash? Yeah, no, I'm so excited. I'm getting the chills about this because this is what's going to happen. See, the chosen 144, just you're lucky, or you're one of the lucky ones who gets turned on, and now God has chosen. You're like a little hair, a nerve ending, and it's like this one's alive here because we have a creator, babes. We're trying to bring heaven down to earth here. How do we do that? Well, we celebrate the truth. We celebrate God. It's not difficult at all. I think it's already happened, and we're looking at like, how do we reset it? How do we reset it? Because within an instant, we can get our intellectual property back. We can find out. We can turn everything back into a shimmering fucking jewel. That, it's amazing how this earth is just one huge ruin that has evidence of that civilization. That just, you don't know how they lived because they had free energy going on. The only way that we will have, say, now I reflect back at the logs. See, if there's a really old tree in your area, and especially like on the earth, then there's still the presence here that says, that can keep that stuff alive, right? They can have it, and then if they can do that, they can they're advanced enough. Like, say, what Tesla was saying. He says, if you hear his conversations whenever he got up, he was excited to talk to the people about how we live here. And if you listen to how these people speak, it's so different than the enslavement system. It's just because you're a contributor and you've hooked in, and it's such a natural thing. I know what I'm saying, babes. When you just get a little glimmer of it in your mind and you begin to design it, it starts to expand, especially if it's the truth. Thanks for listening. Didn't say anything about narcissists, but really, that's what we're trying to pull up out of. The programming that has harnessed the organism that brings them into cerebral narcissism, somatic narcissism, all kinds of different narcissism. The cerebral narcissism is, to me, cerebral. Okay, you know what cerebral means, right? Nobody knows what narcissist means, but it means to point at the mind. So when you say cerebral, you're saying narcissist, or you're saying mind. And when you say narcissist, you're saying mind. So cerebral narcissist is the mind. Yes, the fully encapsulated mind. It's like a mind sandwiched in on itself. And it's a trip because they're trapped. They can't see. And they don't feel. They don't have a good feeling. They're not using their bodies to, like, they don't. See, pretty soon there's like Reiki, where like you see there's a difference between going like this when you breathe. You're supposed to start out like this. I'm feeling the difference right now. It's giving me the chills. Try it. See, my point is they don't have that feeling. See, they couldn't feel it. See, I can feel when you should swallow your food or spit it out, because otherwise you either ate light there or you ate death. I don't eat meat. I do some, And I'm feeling, no, the salmon is not good for us right now. You're better off if you can catch a fish or something. You're much better off eating it from the wild. I don't know, babe. People that are eating meat, that's an emergency food. That means you have lost your footing. You don't have a tribe. You're probably being, yeah, across the nation here, just harbor a bunch of these and you can eat them. And you don't have to be rooted onto the ground, but you're just killing. And that's the emergency food for what? Deep state military, I guess. They have us still eating that? Because you're not settled, really. You're not. What I mean is that you're not grounded. You're not on the earth. You're not even electrically turned on. You can't eat meat when you start getting more and more sensitive about what's going on. So then, yeah, when you're settled and when you're stable, you become pillars. The more aware you become, the more still you become. Really, it's like the wheel that, how you've seen a wheel. It starts to spin, and it spins so fast. Now it's aligning with the light that it looks like it's standing still, because the reason why it's going as fast as the strobe. Your light has a strobe on it. A lot of that's going on too with LED. They're 60 cycles, right? So if the fan is going that fast, it's just clicking and showing the blade in the same place. When it goes all the way around, it just clicks at the same place and it looks like it's standing still. That's what awareness is. Pure awareness. This moment now. Now you're going as fast as the speed of light. But now you can go faster than the speed of light by way of a different mode of tapping thought. It's not thinking, but it's being as the resonance, and it can send messages through this firmament that can go across the universe. It takes no time because it requires no space.